This episode of Two Broke Girls and a Microphone is brought to you by Squareshave.com. Click on the microphone at the top of the page and type your sleep number to get a free audiobook included with your basket of healthy snacks.
Where's that? Two broke girls and a microphone. Where it's at? Two broke girls and a microphone. Where it's at? Two broke girls and a microphone. Where it's at? Two broke girls and a microphone. Where it's at? Two broke girls and a microphone. Where it's at? Two broke girls and a microphone. Where it's at? Two broke girls and a microphone.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Two Broke Girls and a Microphone. I'm your host, Jake. I'm so excited. We have a big week here coming to you from the ACI Blanket Fort. There's big news in Two Broke Girls. There's big news in Two Broke Girls and a Microphone. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, before I even do introductions, I'm not going to be able to sit on this, so I need to get out of the way. Two Broke Girls has been renewed for a 5th season. That's coming up. Yeah. We can applaud that. That means another season of Two Broke Girls and a Microphone. This is also a very exciting time here in our 95th, 93rd, 90-something episode.
I left back around the 70s.
Season 4. We have been picked up by the Tralala Radio Network. So this is our first episode with Tralala. You're not going to really see a big change in the format of the show. It's going to be the same show that you've known for all these years.
We really, really appreciate Tralala's support, and we think that you should check out their other podcasts.
They really are good. We'll talk a little bit more toward the end of the show. Still the same show you love, so don't worry about us changing. Like I said, I'm Jake, but let's go ahead and do some intros around the Blanket Fort. To my right.
Tanner.
Yes, Tanner.
Yeah, and I'm a real big fan of Two Broke Girls, and I'm excited to be a part of the Tralala Network. They are what podcasting needs.
Tanner and I, last night, we went out and we saw a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
We saw Emily Heller. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Did some stand-up show. I'd actually not been to a stand-up show. I told my mom about this. I was on the phone with her this morning. I told her I saw a comedian. She said, who? I said, Emily Heller. She said, Emily Keller? I said, no. I had to spell it out for her. It's Emily, H-E double hockey tickets, E-R. If you haven't heard her, the tour's probably over by the time this show goes up. Very funny. She does a show called Baby Geniuses. Check her out. Next up.
I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Ben, what's been up with you this week? You went to a party?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you have any stories from that. We didn't really talk about that before the show.
I wore a bow tie.
Good.
Classy.
Was that a bow tie you already owned, or did you...
No, my bow tie went missing, so I had to order one on Amazon.
What's the process like there?
You put things in your cart and you check out.
Wow. I've heard it's on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is money exchanged?
You can go to the warehouse. They don't react the same way. You don't get nearly as far. It's just going to the website, I found. Yeah. They call it stealing. I call it shopping. Agree to disagree.
You're going to want to use the website.
Well, hopefully that bow tie will make an appearance when we do our live show, annual recap of the season.
Oh, for sure.
I don't want to make any promises. I don't want to volunteer you to wear a bow tie, but... I mean, a little something for the fans who have donated so much. Next up.
I'm Andreas.
Hey, Andreas.
Hello.
How are things?
Things are good.
All right.
I'm enjoying things.
Good. Great. Next up.
My name's Devin. You'll probably hear me as HD on this show, so we'll go with HD. I was a early adopter of Two Broke Girls. I watched most of the first season, and then I stopped watching, like most of America. I'm really excited to be on the Tralala Network, and we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end of the show. But yeah, I'm excited to get into...
You finished up school recently, too. That's big news in your life.
Yeah, I did. Looking to move on to bigger and better things, which is basically anything.
This is Season 4, Episode 18, Two Broke Girls, and the Taste Test. Which, like, you hear that, you know you're in for laughs. It's gonna be pretty good.
So, as you know, every episode of Two Broke Girls has a pun in the name. This week, the pun obviously has to do with taste. Like, what sort of taste pun are we doing here? Well, Sophie is looking for bridesmaid dresses, and... Well, let me back up a second. Her bridesmaid, her sister, drops out from her bridal party, and Caroline joins in. So it's Max and Caroline, as we all knew it was going to be, and...
Can't have one without the other.
No. It's like bread and butter. Sophie decides that she's going to go buy some new wedding dresses because her grandmother's wedding dress sort of falls apart
Right, which we're going to talk about that a little bit more, I think.
And oh, by the way, this is assuming you've seen the episode. Spoilers, obviously.
Yeah, we are going to get into it. We're going to let you know, like, how much money they have at the end. The questions that the fans want to know.
Yeah. Anyway, so they go to the wedding store with Crazy Carl, who's the proprietor.
Yes.
And he leads them around, and they decide that they're going to hide all of the ugly dresses so that when Sophie gets there, she can't choose from any of the ugly dresses because she has such poor taste. And
the taste test. So that brings us through the episode title. Once again, spoiler cast. You should have watched the episode by now, but if you haven't...
Stop sending us emails about that.
Right.
It's pretty obvious from the conceit of the show.
Right. We don't say it every episode. We try. We sometimes forget, but...
90-something and you should really know at this point.
It's really hard.
If you care enough to tune into this show, then you care enough to turn into Two Broke Girls.
Yeah, who's out there listening to, like, what do we do, like 3 hours a week, and you're not watching half an hour of the funniest television on CBS at, I mean, for its time slot, it's really about as good as it gets, I think.
Yeah.
You can't beat it on CBS. All right, so let's rewind a little bit before we get into this week, and just remind everyone last week was Two Broke Girls and the High Hookup. So the High being the restaurant where Max and Caroline have been working in addition to the diner. And the hookup in this case is our new friend Nashit.
Yes.
Which, hottie alert. And that's about the extent of his personality. We can also talk about his race a little bit. That's
Really,
Two Broke Girls character.
Yeah, we work with what the show gives us.
How do they look? What's the race? And maybe like an accent, because he has a little bit of an accent.
Whoa, that is a great accent.
Thank you. I could pass for someone who's half Irish and half Indian.
You could
Yeah.
you could be on this show if he quits.
Well,
To be fair, anybody could, though.
Well,
I think if you just
I think you have
want
to
that-
audition. I think that is a very important step.
I think you're very talented.
I don't have the headshots, but thank you. Thank you. I want to accept the compliment at least.
to be fair, also, I mean, no offense, you're probably not hot enough. He's like a hot.
But like sometimes they need ADR. They need like the mic didn't quite pick it up.
yeah.
So I could kind of fill in some of the lines maybe.
Yeah.
I can sound Irish, and that's really all it takes to be that character.
Yeah.
And
It's very
you could be a nice reminder to the droves of people that watch the show of they can put themselves in your shoes. They identify with you. You're really like most people out there.
All right. So he's not just eye candy. He also did drive the plot in that episode because he and Max doing it. As he said about 6 times, 7 times. It was, I think,
Oh, I don't have the stats on that.
every one of her lines in that episode was doing it. No, she had one other line that was pretty funny. If you like people who look at the camera and then say something loudly. It was hilarious.
It's why I watch the show.
So let's see. And the money going into this episode. Last week they ended with $286, which did put them in the positive. They were negative the week before. So
Negative 13, I believe?
right. They are
Negative
not
13.
They're
What
back
was?
in the red.
Can we remind everybody what their goal is again? What's their goal amount? for the money?
250K.
250K.
250,000,
Right.
yeah. That's one thing I really enjoy about the show is just the human spirit of we had a business, didn't work out. Let's make that same business again because probably it'll work. And also, the writers really understand that when somebody's going for $250,000, it's best to keep the audience on the hook in like the tens of dollars.
Yeah. What if they
For-
just had the business
for
and then
for
that
4
was it?
seasons.
It's just a show about having a
For
business.
4 seasons, I don't want to see them get more than $200, maybe $300. Like that's it.
Yeah, when it peaked above 13,000, that was a bit much, I felt.
Yeah,
It's like they're not broke girls.
Too-
then.
too close to
They're
the
just
sun.
2 girls.
I
smart,
don't want
funny
them to
girls.
upset their dynamic because I totally enjoy this kind of track that they're on. This some people would call it their rut that they're in, but I think it's their golden.
They're
ticket.
underdogs. And that's what America loves is an underdog story. And what happens when an underdog succeeds? When they succeed, there's no underdog.
yeah,
It's just a dog.
Clearly, if you make
Overdog?
a show named Two Broke Girls, you can't. You've set yourself on a roller coaster of fun. You can't stray from that formula that's just right there in the title. They're
Yeah.
broke girls, so we can't give them money.
You give them money, you don't have a show.
Yeah,
When you think about it, we can really relate to these people. I mean, in a way, we're all broke. And if you take that out, then...
Some of us not even metaphorically.
Thanks, Obama.
This week's episode, I don't know about you, I watched it online. For me, it was presented by United Healthcare.
Please support the show's sponsors, because without those sponsors, this show won't get made. You know, we won't be receiving this art.
That's right. Without the sponsors, the show won't get made. If you don't support the sponsors, they'll take the show off the air. There will be no more Two Broke Girls. That's all. You stop watching, you stop supporting the sponsors, you don't have Two Broke Girls. It's that simple. So don't do that. Don't do that.
That would be terrible.
Don't do that.
So I make a point of whatever the commercial is, I make a note, I go buy something the next day. I have 7 cars. I have 7 cars, Jake. I'm single-handedly supporting the show, I feel like sometimes. Nobody else has 7 Subarus. Nobody else goes to the hospital every single week just because, I mean, it's you gotta keep the sponsors there so that the money can funnel in.
I have a Subaru banner behind my bike. I didn't have the money for a full car.
It's just, I've been eating nothing but Fruit Loops.
You have money for what you want. Just remember that.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
If you really want Two Broke Girls, like Devin, you'll cut out what's unnecessary.
All right, yeah.
Go into United Health. You don't want that. Group Health.
I will put out a mortgage on my home tonight. All right. You're right. No, you...
I don't know about you guys.
It's tough love.
When you guys aren't here, I live here. This fort, it's where I stay.
It's cozy.
Yeah, it's cozy. I don't mind. It's worth it for Two Broke
That's
Girls.
my lay-in corner. That's my eating corner. That's my entrance corner.
Your door.
Yep.
That's what they call entrances.
Two Broke Girls. Two Broke Girls. Hey, you want to know what's in the veggie burger?
You don't want to.
No, you don't want to know what's in the veggie burger. That's where we open this week. Tanner, it looks like you have something.
I have something to say.
All right.
Because you almost skipped my favorite segment.
Oh, please.
Goofs. I know sometimes it's really hard when you're writing one of the best shows on television.
We can just say the best show
The
on
best
television.
show on television. Sometimes you forget that Poland does not use the Cyrillic alphabet. And in the scene, when they're bringing in the dresses, the labels are written in Russian. And they say it's in Polish.
What a goof.
What a goof. The writers sometimes, I think they do it on purpose.
I feel like they don't even realize that there are people watching the show who aren't white and young.
I know.
And from America. Free of accent.
I don't know how many emails we got from our Polish fans that were just like, this was incorrect.
Yep.
This wasn't correct. I know it was a goof, though. They were trying to be funny. I hope they were.
Sometimes they slip in little Easter eggs, sometimes incorrectly regarded as goofs.
It's for the fans.
Yeah.
For the super fans.
I'd like to think that they know we'll pick up on it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of my favorite segment, Goofs.
Thanks.
What an excellent goof.
Great.
Do you have anything to say about my favorite segment?
No, what's on the next part? Well, what's up next on the show?
Ben, I don't know where your notes are. I just have, I kind of took a little detour here just to say finally we get to see a look at the food service from the other side. And I know we say that a lot around here, but it's just so good because you go into a restaurant and like you're the customer, and this is a show where like you see maybe the waiters and waitresses don't really like you as much as they pretend. Like they have to be nice, but that's their job. Like they're paid for that. They have training that says be nice to these people, and maybe that's not what they want.
Yeah.
So finally.
And I think it's really interesting that you bring this up in our 95th episode after we've been watching the show for so long. Just, it speaks to the subtlety that this show really brings. That, after 95 episodes, we're still getting these sort of subtle notes of, oh.
Yeah, there are laughs, sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Again and again and again. But something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of laughs, though, can we talk about the live studio audience?
Yeah, they're real. That is true. We talked to production staff. They have a studio. There are people in the scene or in the show at the shoot who aren't on camera, and they are laughing. Sometimes.
I'm with Ben though. It's iffy to me.
Sometimes I hear one laugh in there, and it's just I don't know if it's sincere.
I've played it back. The laughs from one joke sound very similar to the laughs from the previous joke, and so I have to wonder if the people are there and they laughed once in season 2, and they're just using it.
Are you saying
That's right. They are using those people. They're coming back. They are laughing again and again. You go in that audience one time. What, are you going to just not go back to Two Broke Girls? And you're just going to have a new laugh? Doesn't make any sense.
laughs are like fingerprints?
Yeah.
Everybody has one.
Right, except for, like, you cut them off, you burn them. Men in Black, I saw that movie.
Yeah.
They didn't have fingerprints there.
Not as funny as Two Broke Girls.
But it ended in a rap song, and that's, I think,
That's important.
we've talked about, like,
Wild
how do you
Wild
improve
West,
this?
Men in Black.
Two Broke Girls just don't understand. There should be a rap song at the end.
That's literally the only thing I would
That's the
change.
only complaint.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get into that. I've got some things to say about that towards the end.
Yeah, we're jumping ahead. We're
Keep
jumping
it
ahead.
respectful, but we'll get back to
we
the-
haven't
the
even
things
gotten
that
to-
aren't
We're
working.
just super passionate.
Somebody orders the salmon, and then they jump to salmonella.
Yeah.
Like, what? Those words sound similar.
That
So,
wordplay.
I'm just cracking up right here.
that's what I said. Like, they're laughs, but there's something to think about. Oh. Now
Oh my goodness.
they, first of all,
Be still my heart.
yeah, hottie. We can all agree.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're into. That's hot. Him.
The Irish Indian thing, but I'll agree for the
Well,
sake
that's
of
my
this
point.
conversation.
That is my point. Last week we got a lot of funny jokes about his name because it's an Indian name and he doesn't even look Indian.
No. Which I think is really progressive.
It is progressive. Yeah, like to focus so much on his race, but then like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, well, they're breaking down barriers of what an Indian looks like.
So-
Sometimes an Indian can look like a white person.
Right. It's so hard for Indian people to find work on American television. I mean, you see so many of the same people. So to say, oh, he had an Indian parent. Awesome.
Yeah,
It's
good
like
for them.
talking about race is the new not bringing up race.
Right.
Like before, it doesn't matter what race you are. And I think that's just been overdone. Now we need to really label people.
Yes.
In order to make sure
Yes.
that we know that they are not to be labeled after that. Like, you're Indian and you have an Irish accent. We need to know that so that we don't oppress you in any way.
Right. And I feel like Two Broke Girls really respects its audience by repeating those jokes, making sure that we get it, that they get it.
If I'm not reminded that he's Indian 5, 7, 10 times an episode.
And there's my complaint. Is last time we got like 3 or 4 jokes just in the scene where he was introduced about he's Indian. It's funny. His name sounds funny. It sounds like different words. This week, just Irish jokes.
Yeah.
They call him Lucky, like Lucky Charms. Like, okay, that's good. That's good writing.
It's good writing, but
But they used that one last week. But that's why it is such a good show. Is they don't just say like, okay, we did this last week, let's not do it again. Like maybe you missed last week.
It's like an inside joke.
Yeah,
Maybe you bring it back.
yeah.
over and over, multiple
Right.
times an episode.
And then you can go out and use that in your own life. Like, do you know somebody who is from Ireland or of Irish descent? Like, you can call them a name that relates to the one Irish character in American fiction and popular culture, and then that makes you funny.
Yeah, the Lucky Charms leprechaun.
Right? It's inclusive.
And Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Really, I mean, honestly,
I thought
he was for 3 years. I thought he was in the commercial.
When he
found
was
out-
younger. It's not him anymore, but it's
I found
still
out
the
later-
characters.
I found out later it was just animated, and I honestly thought that they were the same.
That's as much as I have from the first segment before we get to the commercial break. But
Actually, you know what? Let me go over
yeah, I would love to know what you
statistics
got for
this
us.
episode. So as long as we're talking about jokes, in this episode we had a grand total of 159 laughs, which is equivalent to 7.4 laughs per minute. Now,
You put that up against another show on TV.
Actually-
We don't have the numbers for that.
no, actually, I do have the
Oh,
numbers
we do
for
have the
that,
numbers
yeah.
for that.
Compared to a comparable episode of How I Met Your Mother, that is 1.0 laughs per minute more. How I Met Your Mother only ranks at about 6.4 laughs per minute.
Broke Girls with
actually-
7 point.
7.4, and actually that's consistent. Last week we also had 7.4 laughs per
Okay,
minute.
all right.
By comparison, Cheers, one of the supposed greats of multi-camera sitcoms,
Yeah, okay.
only had 69 jokes in an episode, and their episodes were longer, so it was only 2.88 laughs per minute. And I just want to stress this, that not every laugh is created equal. A lot
Absolutely,
of
absolutely.
Unless they're coming from the same person, then they are all the same laugh. That's why they sound that way.
well, so the problem is
That's science.
yes, but volume is important, right? And by far, Two Broke Girls has the loudest laughs. A lot of those laughs in Cheers and How I Met Your Mother, they were sort of chuckles or something like that. Two Broke Girls, full-fledged, like, horse laughs.
And Two Broke Girls is no stranger to horse laughs. Let's be honest. Oh, I miss that horse. I miss that horse.
Good old Secretariat.
Do you have any other specific lines or moments that stood out to you?
Oh, well, I've got my favorite joke. Are we
Okay.
holding that, or?
If it came this soon, like,
Oh,
let it out.
So, my favorite joke of the week. Okay, I'm going to try and get through this without laughing too hard. This is given by Caroline when she and Max are talking about the dresses that Sophie's going to pick out. She says, "Whatever dress Sophie picks is like a Tyler Perry movie. I don't have to see it to know it's going to be awful."
I wrote down that same one. Okay, all right. And that bothered me. As a
Really?
That bothered you?
That did bother me. I'm not. No, we're not doing a thing here. This is. Have you seen Tyler Perry movies? No. You guys want to talk about
Everyone says they're bad, so no.
who's saying they're bad?
It's kind
Caroline?
of everybody. Caroline.
No, there's
Caroline.
Well, I mean, if it makes it into Two Broke Girls, we know.
Jake,
you know who makes that joke? You know,
Two Broke Girls said it was bad.
okay, yeah, maybe like season 1, Two Broke Girls. I'm okay with that, but Two Broke Girls in season 4 is not infallible. It's not. And sorry, I don't like saying it. I don't like it, but it's true. It is not. Tyler Perry makes good movies. I'm gonna list off a few that I have seen personally. Medea's Family Reunion. That's the one that got me into it. That movie is okay. So there's this whole subplot about like this woman. She's in this abusive relationship, and the only way she can get out of it is by just getting a frying pan full of hot oil and just beating a man with it. And like, there's this bit in it about how the worst thing that ever happened in this person's life was like her dad did horrible incestuous things to her. It's awful. It's really heartbreaking. I'm again not doing a thing. Like it's really intense. That's really the beauty of Tyler Perry movies. It's like he makes his villains big. He really drives on that intensity. So then you're at the family reunion. And old grandpa, I think he's Joe, he's played by Tyler Perry as well, is like telling one of his grandkids or nieces or something to like dig real deep into the cooler so he can check her out. This really happened. This is really in a Tyler Perry movie.
I'm kidding.
You should watch some Tyler Perry
That
movies.
movie's...
So just to
I'm not sure.
just to recap,
Yeah.
you are defending Tyler Perry movies.
I am totally defending Tyler Perry. There's which one is it? I Can Do Bad All By Myself, where she drops the blow dryer or the no, I think it's a toaster. Like she tells her abusive boyfriend to go take a bath, and then she drops a toaster or a stereo or something in the bathtub with him, and fries him.
These are way different movies than I thought they were. Man.
Oh, they are so intense. You have to watch Tyler Perry movies.
I'm going to. I'm going to go by...
Yeah, like people are just like, oh, okay, those. No, they're awesome. They like the entertainment of a Tyler Perry movie is unreal.
And
I
it's
forget
drama.
what was the film. It was I don't know if it was super popular, but at least it had like prestige or something, and it had Tyler Perry as a guest actor in it.
It wasn't The Prestige.
No, I know it wasn't the prestige, but
The Illusionist.
it was a prestigious film.
That wasn't. A lot of people don't know that, but Hugh Jackman was not in that movie. It was Tyler Perry
Hold on, Tanner, you said
playing
you had
all of the
IMDb
Hugh Jackmans.
duties.
Oh, I do have...
What has Tyler Perry been in recently, other than Tyler Perry's?
You're going to have to sift through 47.
Am I really
movies.
the only person in this blanket fort who has watched a Tyler Perry or watched
have-
like 5 or 6
You don't
of
have to
them?
see it to know it's going to be bad.
It's not bad. It is not bad. They're weird. They're weird. They're super serious. The tone is everywhere. There are long, like, Mary J. Blige comes out to sing like a 5-minute song that has nothing to do with anything. And then Tyler Perry plays like 4 different characters all screaming at each other. And then they learn that they need to go to church. They're good movies.
Oh.
All right, next time we get together, we're watching Tyler Perry. The TV shows aren't as good. Meet the Browns or like don't. If you only know Tyler Perry from TV, if you only know him from the small screen, you want the
I
movies.
can
'cause-
honestly say I have nothing from either. It gives me an opinion.
He was in Gone Girl.
Okay.
Oh.
He's like, I mean, the guy, he gets a lot of work done. He works crazy hard. He's so involved in his movie.
You know
like,
what I think Tyler Perry is? I think he's Eddie Murphy if Eddie Murphy hadn't stopped being in things.
he is Eddie Murphy meets Walt Disney. Like, people want to make fun of him putting his name all over things, as if Disney's name is not all over movies half a century after his death. That's not my original thought. I have to clarify.
I do respect that he found a way to take the Big Mama concept and make it a franchise in a way that no one else could have.
But there, like, it's based in so much. It's so devout. It's so, like, there is such a strong Christian message in all of his work. He takes it out on the road. Like, he was working hard. He was doing these as stage plays long before you ever heard of him in movies. Like, he really cares about this stuff. And
Lord of the Quick Change, that one.
you will have a hard time finding any movie where they just build and make the stakes higher and higher than in a Tyler Perry movie, because they make the villains as wicked as can be, and then their comeuppance is massive and the catharsis is great. Like,
So we're talking Gem and the Holograms level of villainy here.
that's pretty. Yeah, I can't remember anyone ever blowing up an orphanage. Or trying to
In which
drive a bulldozer into an orphanage.
are you talking about
nothing
Gem
that
or
would get the
Tyler
Homeland
Perry?
Security Bureau involved.
Well, to be fair though, neither can the writers of the current Gem and the Hologram.
That's okay.
Oh,
yeah,
my
we want to go into a gem thing, because I'll go into a gem
but-
thing.
Do not even start with me.
Let's save it. Let's put it. Okay, let's go.
All right.
I just last thing for Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Like
Last thing for now for Tyler Perry.
last thing for now. We're
I'm coming out pro Tyler Perry. I
think-
want that on record.
I'm coming
think-
out the court.
I think we're
Get informed.
I think we're getting into something here with Tyler Perry, but I do think it's really interesting when somebody other than Tyler Perry directs Tyler Perry, because the
Yeah.
man can actually act.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Medea is a ridiculous
But
character who
left
does
to
not
his
need to
own
be in his
devices.
movies. But there's such a tonal shift as soon as Medea comes out, because it's just like, let's make a bunch of fat jokes and old people jokes, and then talk about domestic violence and Christianity.
That is one of my. I don't want to go too far into it, but one of my favorite South Park episodes where Tyler Perry's in there, and Tolkien can't help but give him money for reasons that he does not understand the whole episode. And then
If you saw a Tyler Perry movie, you'd understand.
and then Tolkien doesn't understand the whole episode. I don't know why I'm doing it. And then at the end, they bury him underground to save the Earth because he's destroying the world. But anyways, Two Broke Girls.
Yeah, that's a good episode too.
Spoilers much. Oh, whoa.
It was from season 6, so I think you're.
Was it that long ago?
I don't know. It was a different art, but let's not.
Okay.
Let's not transgress.
Yeah,
into
we need
South
to
Park.
get to Gem and the Hologram so we can get back to
Okay,
Two
well,
I think now would be a good time to go talk to our sponsors.
Okay, we want to take a break.
Commercial break.
We're up for a break.
I am pro break.
All right, break it up. Break girls.
break it up. Break it up.
That's awesome. Egg salad. Egg salad. Egg salad.
A salad.
Egg salad. Egg salad. Egg salad. Egg salad. Egg salad.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Egg.
Truth is out there, sheeple.
Egg salad can't melt steel beams.
And we're back.
And we're back. Welcome back from our break, which was not a big break for you, sexy ducklings, but it was for us. We had enough time for Tanner to watch the Gem and the Holograms trailer, so you are coming off this fresh. Some of us have watched it in the days past, but you have the freshest impressions. I want to hear what
Hold
you
on,
think.
really fast. Before you get into what you thought, have you seen Gem and the Holograms cartoon?
Of course I have.
All right. Yeah, everyone in this.
My goodness. I am offended that you would think I haven't.
I haven't. So I'm going to put that out there.
I'm offended that you haven't watched Gem.
I'm
I know,
offended.
yeah.
We're watching all
Gem Marathon.
full Gem marathon. Full disclosure, we're gonna chain him to a chair.
I don't know how much we could take of that totally banging music.
It's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
Truly, truly
I
outrageous.
I will say, just coming off watching the Jen and the Holograms trailer for 2015,
Yeah. Motion picture.
I am shaking
With
anger. What really drove the show was the Misfits. Their criminal actions and their neglect for law and order.
Misfits?
Blowing the Misfits.
Misfits the band or Misfits?
not the real band.
They're kind of a real band. I mean, their music
Are
is
in the show.
Their
Oh my
songs are
goodness.
bitter.
They're not
but
there. They're not in the. I didn't see a single Misfit. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do this stuff. She doesn't even own a share in the company.
But we should probably clarify
What's
that it's
going
not
on?
like the other Misfits.
It's not the other Misfits. This is the Misfits of Gem and the Holograms. If you haven't watched the show, what are you,
you know
doing?
what?
Watch Two Broke Girls. Watch the Misfits. Or
Of
watch
course-
Gem and the
Of course,
Holograms.
you've watched the show. You're listening to this podcast.
I hope. We still get messages on Twitter. So
I guess spoilers. They blow up an orphanage, and that's
episode 1.
That's episode 1.
It's the
It
pilot.
really drives the show. The Misfits' acts of terror.
The Misfits don't actually blow up the orphanage. That is the
they're-
hired goon, Eric
okay.
Raymond. Eric Raymond.
There isn't even an Eric Raymond.
Yeah, there's no Eric Raymond in this trailer. First of all,
in the trailer, we have no idea what's in the movie yet. We should put that.
it's what is it, like a minute of this movie? So
I'm cautiously optimistic that the trailer shows one movie, and when we get in there and watch it, it's going to be a shot-for-shot remake of the first episode of Gem and Holograms.
you have no idea how happy I'd be.
I have some idea.
You do have some idea.
It's. I didn't like it. That's the
First of all-
thing. I am not hopeful.
Gem and the Holograms, we open up. Jerrica Benton's dad has died, left her with some rights to Starlight Music Corporation or Enterprise.
More specifically, 50%
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah.
We're talking about
So,
the cartoon.
This is the cartoon. This is in the cartoon. Jerrica, who also runs Starlight House, which is a home for orphans, she takes care of them along with her sister and some friends. The orphanage needs money, so
Sister.
yeah, Kimber is her sister.
Kimber is her sister.
Kimber is Jerrica's sister.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty.
She didn't get any of the company.
Well,
You know, that's what happens.
She's
when-
not-
It's Kimber.
And she's not even a little bitter about it. It's kind of, frankly, it's kind of.
I'm sorry.
there's some tension. You guys, I don't think you've seen as much of the show as I have. There is some tension between, like, on one episode when somebody comes in and drives a wedge between them. But they're family, they get over it.
Is this literal? Because with this show, I never know.
Literal.
Misfits walk in.
They do a song. It's called "Driving a
Oh,
Wedge."
my favorite salad.
Boom, ba-dum, ba-ba-ba, boom, ba-dum, ba-ba-ba. Driving a wedge. We're driving a wedge. Ba-ba-ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-ba-ba,
Are they
boom,
flying around
ba-boom.
on the wedge? Because if they
Flying
are,
a wedge,
it
we're
takes
flying
them-
a wedge. And then, so they fly a wedge, they go through, the Olympics, they, like, actually do some loops through the Olympic rings, and then they steal the torch, and they just throw it in the Atlantic Ocean, just out of spite, because they're so bitter. And then they say, driving a wedge, we're driving a wedge.
See, you're saying all of these things, and
You don't think you can trust me?
I'm not sure if I can't trust you or if I can trust Jim and the Holograms to actually do these things.
Jerrica Benton, sadly enough, fictional character. There's no Rio, there's no Eric Raymond, there's no Kimber, there's no Pizzazz. But Christy Marks was the kind of showrunner, I guess is what you'd call her. She wrote most of the episodes of that show by herself. So, like, if you see kind of a bland one where there aren't heinous acts of international violence, like no buildings collapsing, then that probably wasn't written by her. But the rest of it,
If hundreds of people don't die.
yeah. And, like, she also,
That yacht was in international waters. Let's just be clear. No crimes against the U.S. government were committed.
That's true. I mean, the Misfits they're reckless, but not that reckless.
No.
So, she also worked on, like, G.I. Joe for a while. She did a tiny bit of Ninja Turtles. I think she had some involvement or quite a bit of involvement with Captain Bucky O'Hare and the Toad Menace.
I think it's pretty safe to say every cartoon from the 80s was made by one of the...
They all kind of, were in the
Like,
same group. So this was like, she was told, we have these new dolls. These are kind of our Barbie competitors. They were a similar size. They were more like the size of a Ken.
Just for the record, Bucky O'Hare is an amazing
Bucky,
game.
okay, we need to
It's
talk.
a very good game.
I haven't played the game. Either of the games. There's the NES game and the arcade game.
The NES game is legit.
That's what I hear. I'm so mad that I have not played it because that's the first toy I ever asked for. I went to my mom. I said, I want a Bucky O'Hare. And so we went to Big Lots and I got a Bucky O'Hare.
The Bucky O'Hare knockoff.
the gem dolls, the Bucky O'Hare.
Instead of the gem dolls, you get the jam dolls.
They're delicious.
That would have done so well in the 80s up against Strawberry Shortcake and all those other scented dolls if you'd had a jam doll.
The Bobby Jam doll.
Strawberry shortcake.
When your little brother pulls the head off, you have a delicious snack.
Kid from Red Handed.
Get Mr. Toys R Us on the line.
Jeffrey, got another toy for you.
I love the idea of that company being a last name and nobody knew it. My name is Jeffrey Toys R Us. I'm
The
Richard
backwards
Toys R
R,
Us.
that's...
It's Cyrillic.
My name is Daisy Toys R Us.
Oh, like they speak in Poland. Or yeah. Gem and the Hologram. She needs money for the orphans. So she finds out that, and Eric Raymond is just being a great big meanie about the company. She challenges him to a Battle of the Bands thing for control of this major corporation.
Is this? Are we still doing the film? Or
This is the cartoon. This is all the cartoon. Because if you're hearing about good things, then it's obviously a part of the cartoon.
So, somehow we should probably clarify. Somehow she only inherits half the company, literally half.
She gives up on it until she realizes the orphanage needs money, and then she runs into the office and runs past the guard and says, "I'm Jerica Benton," or whatever she says.
You all work for me.
And somehow, in the process of owning half the company, she actually has no power over it. I don't really get it.
Yeah, well, Eric Raymond has the desk. So
And the other half of the company.
And it's the 80s and he's a man. So, you know.
he wants to be all about this band he's discovered called the Misfits. She goes and finds out that her father actually left a supercomputer for her through a false wall at a drive-in movie theater. She goes in with her friends. She finds out that the hologram is named Synergy, who then gives her hologram disguises and
Business advice.
business advice, outfits for the band, instruments. She goes and challenges the Misfits, and that's kind of that's our start. That's all, I think, in the pilot. Yeah?
What if Synergy is just like her Siri app on her phone in the live-action movie? I would be kind of okay with that.
I have a feeling that's where this is going.
Because you said Showtime Synergy
really-
to some,
Yeah.
or to her Mac.
Because she does.
Or you know what?
She does contact Synergy using her earring.
She says something.
Bluetooth.
She says, "Let's."
I'm still holding out that it's going to be exactly the same. And she's on a Bluetooth to a hologram in a drive-in movie theater.
Can we discuss briefly what seems to be the reality that this movie is called Gem and the Holograms, and there are no holograms?
The
That we
band is the
know
holograms,
of.
which
I
is
just
what
wanna
the
put
band
that
was
out
in the
there.
show. Maybe there are going to be some actual computer holograms projected.
Well, as far as actual holograms go, actual holograms are a thing now. It can just be Jem up there rocking with Tupac.
Tupac and Michael Jackson. Get the gorillas and Hatsune Miku up there, and then you have a movie.
I think what's frustrating, because serious talk for a second about the movie.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to do is make a movie about how kind of actors and performers are kind of wrapped up as this commodity rather than people anymore, and they're telling that story.
Yes, they are telling that story.
That sounds like kind of a cool story.
It is kind of
I
a
think
cool story that we've heard
they're-
before.
Yeah, they're doing it with a very specific piece of IP that some people really wanted to see something else.
And that's the thing. I think this movie will do well. I think that it does not look like it's poorly made. I think the performances, it seem fine. I think whoever they have
I think
playing
it's going to be
Jerica.
a good teen movie. I don't think I'm.
Yeah, I think
whatever
that
they
teens
have.
who have no idea about Gem, that don't have a sense of history, and are
really going to pick up on that
do-
IP.
yeah,
Get
Gem.
them in those seats.
Yeah. This is not going to be a Josie and the Pussycats. This movie is going to do well. It looks like it is totally primed. They say right there in the trailer from the studio that brought you Pitch Perfect, I think it's going to hit well with that crowd. Yeah. Let's get into the synopsis of the movie. First of all, no Christy Marks. She's not involved. Nobody reached out to her. Nobody asked her, hey, you created an iconic show that defined the lives of millions. It did.
I think
It did. Nobody said that to her, though. That part's true. We can agree on that. Nobody said that.
No one said that phrase.
My opinion on this is that
Nobody said that.
my opinion on this is that probably a lot of young people did latch onto the Gem and the holograms, but that's because there was literally nothing better.
So I'm just coming at this from I wasn't alive during the. I came just after that,
Yeah.
and I've
don't know if I
heard
was.
of Josie and the Pussycats. I've heard of what was the one with the shark?
Jabba Jabba.
Oh,
Jabberjaw. I've heard of a lot of those cartoons and stuff. I've never heard of that one, and that's kind of how I'm gauging it as not the most popular cartoon from the 80s with
Where's the Jabba
most
Jabba?
people that would see this movie today. You could probably, do you know what I mean?
Johnson's Jabberjaw movie.
What did you
3D.
say there?
Jaws is the Jabberjaw movie.
which did very well.
He went rabbit.
Oh, we have to write so many letters after this podcast is done.
I'm just thinking about how long it is going to be until we have our Street Sharks reboot, because it's coming.
Oh my goodness.
There's actual legitimate
Dude, that was
fondness and
the
sentiment for
coolest
There we go. There it
toys.
is.
The coolest
They were very
toys.
big, and they were like bursting
Sharks.
out of those boxes.
Yeah, oh, that was so cool. I completely forgot about that until this moment right now, and there's so much nostalgia.
That's why you come to Two Broke Girls
That's
and
why
a
you-
microphone, so you can hear about 80s and 90s cartoons, or sometimes 70s.
Now, speaking of Gem and the Holograms, I'm gonna give the Vine report really quick.
All right.
As the local Vine correspondent, Gem and the Holograms is actually trending on the Vine.
Every time they say something more about this movie, every time there's a trailer, when they made the announcement, when they released the pictures of the cast, every time it becomes news. There's a hunger for Gem and the Holograms that I think extends beyond the Pitch Perfect teenagers the teenagers that we talked about. I think that this is going to hit, and I think that there are people who, if they don't remember it, they're at least aware that this is something that did mean something to someone that does have a history.
Is 80s nostalgia actually a thing now?
It
It's
is now.
starting
Is it?
now.
Are people getting nostalgic for the 80s?
Still, though, is that the question?
Weirdly, my little brother's friends, who he is an age of a certain age, they
Protect
are,
that, yeah.
They are really nostalgic for the 80s, whereas my generation.
I mean, it's like I feel like
different, I guess.
we're getting into like records and stuff like that, and that's stuff that's from the 70s.
That is before our time, sure.
Yeah, and for the new people, they're getting new people.
for the little humans.
You know what?
That's what I call babies.
In this last year, is the first time I'm only 24. I've started to feel old for the first time in my entire life. I don't like if you're listening to this and you're in high school, we probably aren't going to be friends. I'm sorry. Like, there's a lot of you that probably are cool. But
What about when you're like 45 and
I don't even want to think about what I'm going to be.
the people who are 6 or 7 years younger than you
45 isn't even
just
over twice my age.
our
no,
poor
I-
45-year-old listeners are like, oh,
Well, no. I think the age gap of being like, I hate those people.
Yeah.
Gets broader as you get
Yeah,
older. It's
okay,
the same
yeah.
with like marriable age
I'm
between
in
couples.
5th grade. Ew, 4th graders.
Yeah, but like now I'm in, I graduated college recently, and now like if like sophomores and even seniors in high school, I see them just being complete, I'm gonna say dork, and I just think, oh my god, was that what I was like? I really hope not. I don't like any of.
So speaking of misfits, though, like if you're just a weirdo all the time, then you can never look back and be like, I was like that, because it's like, no, I was never like you. Everyone hated me, and it was great. That must mean I'm cool. That must mean I was really cool, because the people I hated me.
That's international diplomacy.
right there. The person that hates me, that the enemy of my enemy, or the enemy of me that also has an enemy that is me, they're probably best buds.
Well, my sister's a freshman in college right now, and
Do you hate her?
no.
I mean, but it's just us, though, just in this playing for just us.
Okay, just
This
just
podcast will never
ASMR
see
really
the-
quick.
Let me press the record button to stop this.
Okay, we stopped the recording.
I like that you mimed that against air.
Okay, this time for realsies.
It's a big record button the side of a blanket fort.
I like the mime. That happened earlier. So the light turned off in our blanket fort earlier, and I had a moment of like, oh crap, we gotta stop recording and fix that because everybody's gonna see the light turn off.
We did stop recording. We re-recorded that section.
That telltale electronic buzz won't be there anymore.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
I'm
there's no
sorry.
telltale.
It's an LED bulb.
Your sister is a freshman in college.
My sister's a freshman in college, and I talk to her, and we seem to like, get along well, and I know what, when she talks about stuff, it's like, okay, I can still relate to this, but at the same time, it's like, am I just trying to recapture my youth? Have I reached this stage already?
Okay, so this is mildly off topic, but I feel like the millennials are hitting
Off topic.
The millennials!
the millennials,
The millennials.
which I am a part of. We need to go relive our childhood much more quickly than the previous generations. So I believe that's probably because of the internet, because we can just sort of like go watch a Rugrats
Well, hey,
video.
only 90s kids
Like,
will get it.
well, yeah, the time between our little events happens much more quickly.
It's an accelerated culture.
Our culture is
To
accelerated.
borrow the words of Douglas Copeland, who wrote Generation X, Tales of an Accelerated Culture. He also has a theory about humans are the only species that thinks the next generation is going to be totally different, that tomorrow is going to be a different day. Whereas like a bee doesn't think the next bees are going to be into a different kind of pollen. So it's so human of us to speak this way. We're really showing our
You know
species.
what's really human of us when we speak is our speech. Pretty human of us.
Parrots. Yeah, check and
Actually,
mates.
you know what? Yeah, I was reading a really interesting thing. There is a parrot. One of the gray parrots that they taught a lot of words was the first animal to ever. He asked, "What color am I?" And then was told gray, so then he knew gray. But like none of the gorillas at sign language ever asked any introspective like, "But what is me?" kind of things. They were learning colors, and he was like, "Well, what color am I?"
Well, because the gorillas have confidence. Like, they know. Like, I watched that Congo movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, Amy, gorilla, pretty, gorilla. Amy, pretty, monkey. Beautiful, pretty, Amy.
Coco the gorilla once smashed a sink to pieces and tried to blame the kitten.
Yes.
He said Coco, who did this, just pointed at her newborn kitten pet. It's like she messed up. I feel bad for her, but she broke it, and punish her however you want to.
What is my purpose? You serve butter. Oh, God.
Okay. Nobody here watches The Simpsons, do they?
I watch a few episodes here and there. I
well-
haven't watched regularly in a couple years.
The one that comes out today, the intro is a Rick and Morty intro.
I was talking
Yes,
about that.
we were
earlier.
talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I'm really excited. About
Have you
it.
seen it yet?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, but you're excited for it to be on television where
Yeah,
everyone
I
can see
realized
it.
the other day because like I won't watch The Simpsons for like 6 months, and then I'll just go binge watch them online. And because of that, I have seen every single Simpsons episode ever. Because me and my little brother Tyson bought all of the DVDs when we were younger, up to like season 6 when that was, or season 15. I don't know. Whatever
stopped
the
making
number
them at
was.
some point.
Yeah, up to the point when I like moved out of the house. So I've seen all of those, and I've just slowly watched all of the other ones. And I don't know how I feel about spending that much time in my life watching The Simpsons.
Oh no, it's because I used to watch. They would show it twice a day on TV, and I watched it twice a day on TV for years and years and years.
They
and
had okay, but to be fair, they had good years. Like that,
they have great years, yeah. And like even the new
that
stuff,
wasn't a bad thing.
it's not-
It's gotten they've come back. They had like a what is going on, and they've come back a little bit.
it's not all bad. It's to the point where it's hard for me to watch because it's not the consistent great show, and it makes me a little sad to watch it sometimes. The animation is very bland for the most part. They do something fun here and there, and then it's like, oh wait, you guys do have creativity and talent.
One thing that keeps me from getting too like, oh, this show sucks, though, is 22 years of television is a
It's
lot.
more than that.
Like, or
It's
however.
The Christmas
long,
special was
long time.
89, I want to say.
89. No, sorry, not years.
1989. 89 years of the Christmas special. It's pretty long. I'm
Yeah,
still watching it.
Having to write that much television is
Yeah.
like you're gonna hit a lull.
Yeah, you can't maintain that Two Broke Girls level.
Right.
Can't, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, by the way, let's
Oh, should we get back to that? Anyway, Gem and the Holograms. This new movie. This new movie. So Gem was in charge in her story. She was out there, was running a business. She was running an orphanage. She was running a band. She was really making it work. She was driving around in the Rockin' Roadster, which is available at toy stores now. Your parents put it together. Batteries not included.
Also, those bangs,
Making
she
it
was
work.
working them.
Yes, she worked. She was in charge. She was a positive, active character in her own story.
Oh, wait, let me turn the recording back on.
She was an active character in her story. I think we got that. All right. This new thing, she's a taciturn teenager who doesn't like performing in front of people. And her sister finds one of her videos and puts it on YouTube, and it becomes a big hit.
I'm going to stop you right there. Her sister plants a spy camera.
Is that
and
what it-
records it and then posts it to YouTube.
She'll record
So,
everything.
okay, that makes it way creepier because in that video, she's wearing a wig with eye paint on. So she was just doing that in her free time.
She's just really worried about her sister recording her, which is a legitimate fear.
And
Edward Snowden, man.
Edward Snowden 2012. Well, she was wearing that wig, and then she said, "This one's for you guys." I was like,
We'll have to see the full movie or
It's-
not see the full movie.
"It's
'cause I don't know.
crazy."
Now, we both know, Jake, you're going to see the whole movie. You probably aren't going
I
to pay
don't
for
know.
it.
Like, I don't.
I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't go see it in theaters.
If it went straight
Yeah,
to
yeah,
DVD, I would buy the DVD.
I don't know. Like, I have no plans to see that Ninja Turtles movie. Which,
you shouldn't.
yeah, that's what I hear. Like,
It should be a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
plan it. Just
Yeah.
when the moment's right, you'll know.
Yeah, if one day you walk in your house and it's like, oh, the Ninja Turtles movie is here, I'll watch it.
Anyway, so she's
It has
proposed.
to get you before you know what's happening.
She's made famous. Someone else names the band. Somebody else picks the costumes.
And changes her
She
name.
has no control. She doesn't want any of it. And like, that's just never what the show was. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not Gem
different.
and the Holograms. Rio is just kind of like put into her life by a producer, not like somebody she's known in a long time. Like, there's not any mystery and intrigue with that love triangle between Jem and Jerrica and Rio that doesn't make any sense. But, like, why is she, as Jem, always trying to make out with Rio, even though Rio doesn't know her secret identity and is dating Jerrica? Like, why is she trying to put him in that position and then getting mad at him?
Wait a minute, am I right?
We need to get Christy Marks on the show. I feel, okay, we talked about this, though, outside of the show. I won't go into a full thing, because we do need to get back to Two Broke Girls. But, like, I feel like Jem was not a bad piece of feminist media. It wasn't a great piece, but it also, like, it was an active character on a show with lots of explosions and lots of cool things happen. Like, it wasn't just,
They could have made a really cool, campy 80s movie
right.
out of it.
They could have done what they did with like
And I think that's what audiences would want more. Like, a different audience, though. People our age would want.
22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23 Jump Street was not good.
It would be faithful to the show. It would be 23. Did they really make a third
They
one?
made a second one.
Okay, all right.
22.
All right, 21 was the first one.
Oh, wait, 21. Wait, 21 Jump Okay.
22
sorry,
Jump
22 Jump Street. 22 Jump Street.
Are you
was not
saying
good.
that
But I think we-
Tatum made a bad movie?
We can probably still record this. If you're listening to this a year out, 23 Jump Street wasn't as good as really.
Watch
You know what, though? Actually, I'm gonna optimistically...
You think they'll come around?
There's potential, because the first one was really good. There is a sequence of words in a script under the pretense of 23 Jump Street that would make it a good movie. I don't know if that will ever happen, but...
Where they go to grad school?
They go to grad.
Yeah, they're getting their master's degrees.
Actually, I hear Channing Tatum's character is going to go for his doctorate.
Ooh.
In sexy.
In being fine all
Honorary degree, he already got. All right, let's get back to Two Broke Girls, because we can talk about
Everything. forever.
everything. Back from commercial, that's in my notes. Big cheer for Legally Blonde's entrance. What is her accent? I know we say it's Polish.
Coolidge.
Yeah, okay, fine. She's Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
She's Legally
As
Blonde.
in all of our hearts and minds.
Yeah. Yeah, Sophie, Jennifer Coolidge, Legally Blonde. She was the nail salon friend in that movie, which I watched recently.
She's
I
in
might need
that
to save
show?
my... Oh, yeah.
I mean, I watched Two Broke Girls.
Wait, what?
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
You said the in Legally Blonde, her friend in the nail salon.
Yeah, the Reese Witherspoon's nail salon friend is the same actor. The one that you've seen, she's a recurring character. She's always there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Devin, are you saying that you've never seen Two Broke Girls?
I'm saying what none of you caught at the beginning when I said my introduction is I watched the first season and kind of petered out halfway through and haven't watched a lot after that.
Okay. So, we still have 4 people in here. We put work into this podcast each week,
Lots
so.
of deep breaths. Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's your fault for going 95 episodes.
I guess we probably should have noticed.
Never noticed that I don't know what we're talking
We weren't
about.
all on
That
all
explains
95.
why you're never at the viewing parties.
We just, okay. Siamese twin joke. That's what
I miss when we used to hang out. That's all.
I feel like that's a new place to go. Siamese twin jokes.
I took the "Which broke girl are you?" quiz for you, and I don't
Do you
even
see
know
what
if I should-
happens?
I
We
don't
were
even-
focused for a second, and then you drop a bomb.
like
Is it
Okay,
even
anyways.
possible to be racist against Siamese twins?
So the Siamese in that, it's not really referring to Siam, which doesn't exist anymore, first of all. Conjoined twins is the way that you would say it if you were not a writer for Two Broke Girls, but, hey, that's who's writing the show.
So, I apologize. Back to that lady from Legally Blonde you were saying.
Oh, well, I have a lot of thoughts, having recently rewatched Legally Blonde. There are a lot of montages in that movie, you guys.
I've seen that movie way more times than I care to admit.
I have seen it a lot of times, but like, it's this movie that like everyone who's seen it or everyone who knows of it, it kind of feels good about it. But if you start breaking it down, it's like every bit of plot that happens in a montage. There's a bend and snap montage.
Yeah.
Please don't explain.
Nope. Nope.
I got it.
If you like Sophie though, check out Legally Blonde because she bends and she snaps, in a montage.
Her snap was all over the place.
Oh, she doesn't really get it. So there's that. There's everything's kind of like cheery and bright and fun. And then somebody says a sex thing and like those are the jokes. Or somebody is gay. But one of the gay characters says like, you're probably the kind of person who'd use a slur behind my back. And then Elle Woods, Reese Witherspoon says, I don't use that word. And so that's how we know that she's a good person. But then the climax of the movie is her noticing that a guy is gay because he noticed his shoes. So that's, she doesn't use that word, but she is not afraid to stereotype.
Well, I mean, it's a movie that shows that even blonde people can be lawyers.
Right. And there's also never any indication that she's actually smart in any way. There are just montages of her wearing glasses and looking at books.
And then she gets good test scores.
And there's never any evidence of her like being a nice person or being a smart person. It's just like, you should cheer for her. Remember that montage? She wore glasses.
Yeah, honestly, it all kind of comes back to, why do I like her? Well, she's pretty.
And
Good for
pretty
her to
people
go to
deserve
college.
more.
I always get the movie confused with Aaron Brockovich.
And the whole premise is basically this person went to Harvard in spite of being pretty.
That's the whole thing.
Hot girls have problems too.
But she's like smart about shopping. She's like a smart shopper.
Like a savant.
Kind of, yeah.
Yep. She can count the laughs in a sitcom.
Ben, thank you for counting the laughs. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't count them this week. I mean, your consistency is
No, it's
on point.
I was legitimately impressed when he's got a tally mark for How I Met Your Mother and Cheers and for Two Broke Girls of where the laughs happen and how strong they are in percentages.
And how strong they are. You are doing
legitimately
great work
impressed.
for us.
I'm happy that you did that. Thank
I'm
you.
glad to have you on the team. Director of this episode, we had,
He's been doing this for like 70 episodes, right? This
Well,
is
and I thank him every time. Do I not thank him every
And I'm
time?
glad that he did it this time too.
we like to have everyone do it, but sometimes we all forget. Just to increase our accuracy, we want to average everything out, get a good standard deviation.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
good statistics.
Yep.
Speaking of statistics,
Do you have something for us?
I wanted to talk about the viewership. This episode and the taste test had 7.53 million viewers.
Wow.
Yeah,
How are we from last week? Are we up or are we down?
we're up
4 viewers.
0.46. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Congrats.
We did it.
We did
You
it.
got, all right. Jim Rose and Fred Savage. Fred Savage directed that last episode on his, did I miswrite it? Do you have something?
His name was Lee Rose.
Oh, I hope I didn't.
David Lee Rose.
Fred Savage, though, we know him from the Wonder Years, from The Wizard.
Yeah.
Yep. 50,000 on Double Dragon. So we got the Siamese twin jokes. We also got some Armenian jokes in here. And that's great to hear.
Yeah, especially with...
So soon after the 100th anniversary of the
Yes.
Armenian genocide, it's time to laugh.
Yeah.
At people whose genocide has gone unrecognized for a century.
Do you remember after September 11th when Rudy Giuliani went on SNL? To
Yeah.
say,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay to laugh.
Yep.
You know, someone needs to do that for the genocide. It's been 100 years.
Right.
Okay? Come on.
It's one thing I really love about Two Broke Girls is they're not afraid to just be straight up racist. You know, go where the comedy is.
And
You know,
what a joke it is.
If you,
The joke here is that Armenians eat hummus. Which is not a stereotype I've heard before. So I don't know if they're like adding, like that's so great to see them giving back and not just taking from the stereotypes, making up new ones. So we can point to our brothers and sisters from other countries or just from places where they sound funny when they talk. And we can just laugh at them in all new ways. It's not racist though. It's not racist.
no,
Because they have,
let's clarify. It's not racist because they are so racist to everyone.
Yeah.
That really, it all equals out.
right. That's how it works. If you stab everybody, then it's like nobody got stabbed. It's like that
Probably,
Incredibles where the guy stabbed everybody and then nobody got stabbed. the Pixar movie.
I saw a different movie than.
I saw the same movie Jake saw.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You had to stay after the credits.
I fell asleep in the
Right.
middle. I didn't say after the credits. That's everybody gets stabbed.
And
That makes sense.
To each his stab. To each his needed stab,
Yep.
to each his stab.
Yep.
Babies, little stabs. Superheroes, lots of stabs.
As long as everyone gets stabbed,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if like someone gets stabbed a lot. Like we just keep on stabbing them and stabbing them and stabbing them. As long as we say you're not just Korean, you're also short, then it really balances out. And that's what Two Broke Girls is about.
You're more than just a race. You also have physical deformities.
You're not like everyone else in terms of your height.
You're an age.
You can be old. You don't just have to be black. You can be old
Your sexual
and
orientation.
You're freckles.
black. Oh, freckle. Ew.
You are a list of characteristics that define who you are.
Right.
And nothing deeper.
You're your taste in fashion.
So Legally Blonde and the whose accent she talks like this, which is her accent. Is that
Dead on.
okay? Thanks. We did have to look that up to find out that it was supposed to be Polish, but we did find that out. So she's been maintaining that for her whole run in the series so far. I talk like this, which is how Polish people talk, I guess. I haven't met anyone from Poland because I prefer just staying with Americans
It takes
who are my same height and age and gender. Anyway, she's marrying that Eastern European stereotype who runs the kitchen. Yeah, we can never stop laughing at the comments. They're from different countries. Well, how is that going to work?
No, it probably won't.
It's not good. Yeah, look forward to Two Broke Girls and the divorce. They're getting married, and the wedding is going to be covered by, get this, the Times. This is going to be Blonde Broke Girl's return to the Times. It's been so long since her family lost all the money. She had to give up the horse, like everything. She hasn't been in the...
That's not a metaphor. If you remember back to season 1, she had a horse.
Yeah, it was not a heroin addiction. That did not happen. We saw that early draft of the pilot where she was addicted to heroin. It got misinterpreted.
Isn't a heroin addiction like a monkey though? Like
It can be a lot of things. You can chase a dragon. There are a lot of animals. It's very sad.
catch a crow.
Are you sure? Yeah. Catch a tiger by its toe.
Give a mouse a cookie.
Yep. Give a moose a muffin.
If you
Yep.
give me some muffin.
Swallow a spider, wriggle and jiggle and,
Sometimes the spider goes down, gets washed out of the spout.
yep.
And
Yeah.
huff and puff and blow that house down.
Yeah. Pancake sounds like schmancakes sounds like mancakes to me. I
And you
may have
guys
gotten
had-
that mixed up.
I had Moose a Muffin and I had Mouse a Cookie, and that was my
Okay.
childhood. You guys had a whole library.
That's one thing I think's been kind of missing from the show. Just
Giving animals things.
yes,
They're going to be in the Times. They get married. But here is the problem. And here's where we get our title reminder. Because if you watch Two Broke Girls, you probably can't remember things for very long. And it's just like, you just need reminders. You need to be reminded about different races being funny. Not that you forget that. But like little things. She has bad taste.
Yep.
She has bad taste. People are going to see our poor broke girls. They're going to see them in ugly dresses in the Times.
I sure feel for their lack of overwhelming wealth. They truly are broke. And in fact, I
And
mean,
they
that's
truly
all
are
broken.
girls. That's
It's all right there. It's one of those titles you come back to it, you hear it, you're like, oh, that's cool. I'll watch that. But you come back to it and you realize there's depth, there's layers.
yeah. It's one of those things. Like I feel like as a group of 5 men, we really understand the need
Not
of
just men, but young white guys.
of young white males. We really understand the plight of the women in general, as well as in this show. Like if anybody's gonna get it, it's gonna be us.
We've seen how our kind have oppressed the masses. Like if anybody knows how women are impressed, it's a young white guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
We can let them know because we have a better perspective.
Two broke
I would
girls.
rather be a broke girl.
Yeah.
Am I right?
They're so hot.
That's a high five.
That was a high five.
I did want to make a mention. We talk a lot about the named actors like Eastern European Stereotype and Legally Blonde, but I also want to make a shout out for the extras in the restaurants who really do good work. Were you watching them this time?
Yeah.
They act as if they don't notice these people shouting right next to them. Really in directing, it's a visual medium. The best way to tell a story is to just set up a camera over one character's shoulder and then mirror that on the other side. So you just see the person who's talking, and then you see the other person who's talking, and then you see the other person who's talking. You keep it in like 2 or 3 people talking, and then that's a show. You have a show. And you talk loudly so that everyone can hear your jokes.
They
And then
say that once you have 3 people, that means it's possible for a person to be left out.
Yep.
It does not create all drama.
there it is. The people who are left out in this case are the extras who just act as if nothing is happening around them. Even, I don't know how they keep from breaking.
I don't know.
Because there are jokes here. Just joke.
And
Like,
Ben said how often the laughs come.
7.4.
They're
Laughs per minute.
and they are pros out there.
it is impossible to escape the laughs.
Yep. Legally Blonde comes in. She has her dress shipped in from Poland. It's been in her family for a while. It's been in storage. And she has it shipped to the diner or the...
Well, no, she brings it with her to the hive.
Okay. She doesn't open it until that moment. She wants to, even though she and the broke girls, they live right by each other, she takes it to the diner where they work.
Well, she wants to celebrate with one of the overpriced puddings.
So she pulls it out of the box and it just rips in half. It's so old. I passed some, we had a Scientology joke, Korean joke, gay jokes, some other gay jokes, poor people jokes. Yeah,
And
laugh
to
at
be
poor
fair,
people.
the Scientology joke was also a gay joke.
Yeah, no matter who you hate, there's something for you in Two Broke Girls. We get a Bill Clinton sex joke, which, like, that takes me back. You want to talk about nostalgia?
Yeah.
Like, there's my generation. That's what we had.
I felt like
And-
I could have mentioned the saxophone, but whatever.
At this point, we have our drama in motion. We know the dress is ugly. That's a show.
And now we're getting to my favorite part of the episode. Crazy Carl.
Crazy Carl. So at this point, I think I missed the part where it's not just going to be Max as the bridesmaid, but Caroline, she's going to be a bridesmaid too. She's not really looking forward to it. She's actually openly hostile about it, but she gets to be in the times, but she's going to have to wear something ugly. She just knows it.
And there's nothing worse than wearing something ugly. You just feel, you can't feel
Ugly.
protected while you're ugly.
Well, I mean, we haven't talked about anyone's race in like several seconds, so you're a poor person from Ireland,
Oh, yes.
right?
I mean, that really just sums it all up. What more
Direct
do you-
quote. I wrote that down. That's a direct
What
quote.
more do you need to know?
Yep.
Like, what was the great line? If I need your opinion on anything, it'll be where I can get discount leg braces.
I didn't hear that one because I was still laughing.
That was, oh, man.
Oh, I wish I could have heard the delivery on that because I bet it would be something like, if I want your advice on anything. Oh, here's a good one from when they're at the dress shop. That's a Vera Wang, but this is a very wrong.
Ooh.
Right?
For our listeners at home, a Vera Wang is she's a designer.
Is that what that means?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again.
I could see how you might interpret her last name differently. And just to be clear, she's a designer.
Oh, okay. Well, but they held up a dress.
Yeah, she designed
She designed the dress. Well,
They did not hold up a dress designer. Yeah.
well, I mean,
Well, you could, like, with a gun, give us all your dresses. And moving on.
this is the point where our broke girls decide, let's hide the ugly dresses. That way, Legally Blonde can't come in here and pick one of the ugly ones. She'll be forced to pick a good one. There we go. We'll be in the times. We'll be looking so good.
I mean, we certainly couldn't be honest to her about what she should wear.
Don't talk to people about your problems. They don't want to hear that.
Especially don't talk to them about their problems. How else will they ever, it'll just tear them down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People can't handle that negative criticism.
I do feel like
Jake.
Well, I don't really hear about that from any.
Well, you're perfect.
Don't talk to people about their problems. If they have any, they probably don't.
Don't worry, I
No.
won't.
No one has any problems.
Well, they're hiding the dresses, and who should arrive when they're hiding the ugliest one? But
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde. He didn't even watch the show. He hasn't even watched the
What
fourth
can
season.
you-
It's like it follows some kind of formula or something.
You should be a writer on the show.
No, they're diverse. That's why it's okay for them to make those jokes. Yep.
They've got a guy.
A pregnant.
I don't understand what you're referencing.
It's the
Neighbors.
the neighbors, the interview with Tommy Wiseau.
Not Zac Efron.
No. Another show that really tackles race with a soft touch.
Oh,
Whether you're a black or a Chinese or a...
Tackles with a soft touch.
Yep.
It's like a Pillsbury Doughboy.
I would love to get tackled by a Pillsbury Doughboy.
You'd be so pumped.
Be careful what kind of mail you're going to be getting after this.
Bring it up. No, please. If you're a Pillsbury Doughboy, write
Or a
in.
Michelin Man.
I didn't say that. That's Ben said that.
So if you're a Michelin Man, write in for Ben.
Pillsbury
Or a
Doughboy.
Michelin Woman. 21st century.
They're doing a lot of tackling now.
Let's ask another really important question. Why isn't there a Pillsbury Dough girl?
Have you read my fan fiction?
I have, but it's not canon yet.
No, but I'm in talks.
And you know,
Okay.
actually, I have read it, and I was really impressed with the recent crossover with Two Bro Girls. That's pretty cool.
I was also very impressed with the crossover with the War in
I mean-
1812.
I mean, you're really good at keeping up that continuity.
Think about it. They work in the food industry. Pillsbury Doughboy. They have a lot of conflicts. War of 1812.
It all
It
meant
comes together.
Cupcakes.
I left the cupcakes out. That chapter was just kind of dragging. Like, I didn't find a place to organically fit it in, so...
Well, I mean, this shows.
But there's room for a sequel, yeah.
Kind of done the same thing.
Well, they
Sure.
didn't even have organic in 1812.
But, like, 1812, it was just natural back then. It was just, like, a lot more natural in all the foods. It was, like, people ate better.
It was before Big Sugar.
There wasn't all that GMO crap in the foods back then.
It was just like, I wish I could take a time machine. But I wouldn't want to leave a time when you can turn on the TV and see great entertainment like Crazy Carl.
Crazy Carl, he is crazy.
He's crazy.
That's what the ladies say about what he says. He's just always making these crazy jokes.
Yeah. He's like, I'm Crazy Carl. The ladies say I'm crazy.
He owns the bridal store.
Yeah, he does. That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
not that crazy. It's kind of crazy.
He's just like crazy with his wealth. A bridal store is nothing to him.
I feel like you're assuming a lot about, but that's the way these characters are written, is like you can kind of bring in something of your own.
It's alright, there's a nail in the ground, and I just put my leg on it, and it really hurt.
That's not something you should have in a blanket fort.
It's not in the blanket fort.
Okay, well then, we did a great job.
That's
We got rid of all the nails.
Sorry, continue.
doing all right?
I apologize. Yeah.
No, let it out. This is what the people want to hear.
Devin getting stabbed
They
by
want
a nail.
pain. They want...
This is
Agony.
raw.
It's truth. Live in your truth.
Just imagine that a football were to come from nowhere right now and hit Tanner in the crotch.
I just... I have to imagine
Great?
it. Oh.
Isn't it great?
I don't even flinch because I'm wearing an athletic cup.
At all times. Tanner's just wearing a
Speaking of wearing things, back at the dress shop, Crazy Carl. Should I say what he's wearing? It's a TOUPE with an accent mark over E.
Yes.
A tube?
cup. Pronounced tope.
Tope. He's wearing a tope on him.
Gotcha.
It was-
He has a toupee personality. That's mine. That's not even from the show. The toupee personality. They're going to have a sale at the store. Everything's going to be half off tomorrow. It's going to be a big deal. We're at our commercial.
Driving away, we're driving away. Flying away, flying away. Drive away between two sisters. We're the misfits. We are business. Oh yeah.
Cars, food, Viagra, that's what was advertised in our last commercial break. Welcome back, sexy ducklings. We are ready for our last segment of the show. Oh, I have a pretty good joke here. Maybe it's not that bad, and then together at the same time. They look at a dress, they say, maybe it's not that bad, and then they say, it's bad. And then, helpful saleswoman comes out and says, ladies, you forgot the matching hat. And then they say, there's more? The great thing about that is that the hat doesn't match at all. Like, it's a totally different shade of yellow. But it's pretty ugly, so it's funny. It's really funny. Oh. Okay, so, they're standing in line for the big sale, and they meet these two girls who are the only black women we see in the entire episode, and then Legally Blonde calls them Destiny's Child. Is there any possible explanation for that isn't super racist and not okay at all?
No, because there aren't even three of them.
Well, hold on. Were they the women from Destiny's Child?
Wait. Maybe they are the two of them minus Beyonce.
Yeah, I say if they are. If
Was
they,
it actually the members of Destiny's Child? Just so
was it?
no.
Okay, then yes, then no, it's super racist.
Okay, just
That's
alright.
the one scenario though.
If they actually happen to be members of Destiny's Child, then it's okay to call them Destiny's Child. If they're not members of Destiny's Child, don't call them that.
Especially if there's only two of
There are
them.
only two black women in your whole show. Don't call them Destiny's Child.
Salt and pepper.
Okay, Ben, get it.
No, I agree. Still racist, not as bad.
Yeah, I'm just
I guess
saying
it's
at
the
least
right
math is
number.
right.
Yeah, that's. It's an
Get your math right,
an
racist.
understandable
Is that the
racism.
KK?
Oh.
So they finally admit, after going in the dressing room and saying, I don't want to come out of here. Let's go at the same time, whatever they do. They come, I mean, it's really well written. We just are kind of running low on time. So I can't do it justice. It was good though. It was good. They finally reveal themselves in these dresses. They don't reveal themselves in these dresses. It's on.
Well, they revealed themselves to the Jedi.
Took a weird turn at the end of
You
the
get out too.
episode.
You get.
Gosh darn it.
We were doing so well.
And let's go start our own podcast called the Outside the Blanket Fort Podcast.
In the La Watch Raw Radio Network.
Even if we won't be in the same network, though.
So
After I got the tattoo and everything.
Yeah, I told you not to put the number 5 on it.
I
she
want to
had,
talk to you about your tattoo afterward.
she admits, our broke girls admit to Legally Blonde that they don't actually like the dresses after they get caught talking very loudly, and she's right behind them. That was fun to see on network TV prime time. It's a good joke.
Well, it's
Shouldn't be just limited to like Saturday
pretty
morning
interesting.
cartoons or like
Yeah, I was
syndicate.
going to say it's pretty risky
Yeah.
what they did.
Yep, they
You know.
admit that they don't like the dresses. And she says that they don't have to wear them, which is really understanding. But later they hear crying, and who is it? It's not Crazy Carl.
No.
Nope.
Crazy Girl never has a reason to cry.
Nope. It's not Nashik, because he's gone. We don't really see any more of him this episode.
That was my fan theory, but go ahead.
Okay. I mean, there's like some tension there. There's that dramatic, or not dramatic irony, because that would be we do know, but we don't know. We don't know who's crying. It's Legally Blonde. She's crying. So they agree to wear them, and it's really difficult for Caroline. And here's our big twist. This is what it's all been building up to.
The dresses get taken.
And Liam Neeson shows
Oh,
up
yeah,
and
it
does
does
3 movies with him.
Oh,
She called him Destiny's Child.
The two other ladies who wanted the dresses abscond with them. Sophie's gonna make her own dresses.
let's talk about the twist of the Times, though. It's not the New York Times. That's... Like, you go back, and I bet you noticed this when you watched it the second time.
Yeah.
They don't say the New York Times. They say the Times.
The times, they are a-changing.
Yeah, and in this case, the Warsaw Times. That doesn't have the same readership. That's not as embarrassing to be in an ugly dress in the Warsaw Times, for some reason.
They'll never be able to go to Poland, though.
You just went
Well, who
from
would
the
wanna go there
best of
anyways?
times to the Warsaw Times. See? They changed it. You didn't know.
Oh man.
So
They keep you
good.
guessing to the last second. We go up from $286 at the start of this episode to $711. I don't know where they made that money.
Never admit.
Last episode, the boss at the high was constantly handing Caroline money, and she was like sniffing $100 bills and like really putting them in the camera so you could see, hey, look, it's $100. See? Get it? I made money. And this time they just had this money, I guess, because they worked multiple jobs.
It's inflation, you know.
But I want to see that. I want to see them like getting the direct deposit slip, just like letting them know, okay, this is in your account now. I want to see that.
It's not from where you put $250 in a jar, and you wait one television week, and there's $700 in the jar.
Oh yeah, interest.
Yeah, this is
Oh, yeah.
how it works.
It's our interest. It's the
Well,
audience's
it's
interest.
Nature's way. When you put money together in a confined space.
That's one thing they don't advertise, but the writers are directly placing the amount of money that the two girls have with how much interest the viewers have in the show. So yeah, there was a spike. Because why wouldn't there be? But maybe
Because
if you guys would actually do your part,
Well,
and
he's
everybody
handsome.
had 7 Subarus, they could get their $250,000.
I feel like Kat Dennings, Whitney Cummings, Michael Patrick King, I feel like all these people would really like to have your support as a viewer, but if you can't give that, at least buy 7 cars.
At least buy 7 cars.
Maybe some Viagra and some seafood.
Well,
Have yourself a good night.
at that restaurant.
Red Lobster, Olive Garden, when you're there, your family. That's this episode of Two Broke Girls. It's a sitcom on par.
And don't forget
well,
the microphone.
We are wrapping up our show as well. I do want to say before we go, thank you to the Tralala Radio Network for hosting us. They do have a lot of great shows. I have a couple recommendations of my own. I don't know if you guys have anything prepared. A friend of mine, actually, my friend Elise, started a show. You met Elise at John's housewarming a couple years ago, I think. Tanner, you don't know her, but Andre, yeah.
I definitely met.
Yeah.
Elise.
So she recently went back to school. She's trying to make a little money. She got into hairstyling and just to like pay for her classes and get a good education. And first customer comes in and says, "Hi, I want to get my hair did." And that, like, you know, Elise, you know how she is, didn't stand for it. Like, that was not what she wanted out of this job. Rather than walking out, giving up, finding other work, she came up with a way to cross glamour with grammar, right? She's going to take care of your split ends and your split infinitives on her new show, Graham Hair. People come in. She's going around from great clips to great clips around the country. You come in, you get your hair cut. She gives you a grammar quiz. You get it right. She's going to give you a coupon for half off your next visit. So, like, that's a great deal. Look out for that. That's on the Tralala Radio Network. That's Graham Hair. I also have another one. You guys know that I like video games a lot. I think we all do. And there's no hotter game right now than Minecraft. It's the biggest thing. And I've tried so hard to get into it. I look at this game. I'm like, this is the biggest thing. I want to be a part of this. I want to express myself artistically with these tools, but I struggle so much to get into it. So we actually have on the Tralala Radio Network, a new show that's going to be like your guide. That's going to show you, how to get over those struggles and really figure out how it all works. That, of course, is called Mein Kampf. I've listened to one episode. I listened to an episode so far. I think it was like the second episode. No, it was the third, right. So I listened to this episode that teaches you to gather up your resources. And the first thing you want to do, like, don't make a mess of it. You want to keep it organized. You want to arrange them into 2 lines. As soon as you gather them all up, put them on the left, put them on the right, gather that up, be efficient with it. Like, you can actually mine fewer resources than you thought and still create a masterpiece as you build toward your final solution. So that's Mein Kampf. That's on the Tra-La Radio Network. Check it out. Thanks so much for listening to Two Broke Girls and a Microphone. We'll be back again next week. One more time. Jake.
Tanner.
Ben.
Andreas had to leave the fort.
And Devin.
As always, you can email us at 12brokegirls
Right.
at yahoo.com. It looks like 12 broke
Yeah.
girls, but it's actually 12brokegirls at yahoo.com. I'm going to murder Josh at groban.com.
I also have, now that we're part of the Tra-La-La Radio Network, we also are at tralalaradionetwork at gmail.com. That's TRALALAA Radio Network at gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter at Tra-La-La Radio. No network on that one. So at Tra-La-La Radio, TRALALAA, or you can also visit us at tralalaradionetwork.tumblr.com. We'll have some more. We have a Facebook somewhere. I didn't write that one down. But if you want to find us individually, I don't know if anyone has anything they need to plug or places you can find us. You can usually find me at my house. I'm just go straight through the entrance, take a left in the kitchen. I'll be in my bedroom most of the time. If I'm not there, I'm probably like out buying groceries or something. So, and I don't really Twitter, but you can look for me. At Symbol Jake, that's ATSYMBOLJAKE. Talk to me on there. I probably won't. I haven't done anything on there in like a year.
If we're doing Twitter handles, I'm at Tanner is awake.
Okay.
Oh, and how could we forget our music today was provided, as always, by Bronte Loves Kafka, and you can
Big
find them
supporters of
on
the show.
Twitter and also on Facebook. So,
Oh, what's their Twitter handle?
Bronte Loves Kafka.
At Bronte. Okay.
Yeah, you have to put the little squiggly thing.
Yeah.
You don't write it out. It's not like mine.
Okay.
HD, anything from you?
Nope, not this episode. I'll have all my stuff ready to pitch to you guys on episode 96.
You are.
Broke Girls and a Microphone.
I am constantly amazed by how unprepared you are.
You know, I spend all of my time just not watching Two Broke Girls.
We're
and
coming up
I
on
don't
our
know that.
100th episode spectacular. We rented out a space downtown at the convention center.
100th
You're gonna hear
episode
the difference.
live.
We'll be selling
Yeah.
tickets. Tickets will go on sale sometime next week, and the show is 2 days after that.
Right.
And this is also the first time you're hearing
If you
about
want a
it.
ticket, go straight through the front entrance, take a left at the kitchen. I'll probably be in my bedroom. I might be out buying groceries. Thanks a lot, sexy ducklings. We'll see you next week.
Wah.
Bam, bam.
Broke girls and a microphone. Ask a girl, I think they're all alone, but we're right there with them every week. And we got a microphone, so we might as well speak. What did we think of this week's episode?